I thought that was a good use. He was even most recently admitting that on there. So you'll know Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Welcome, my friends, to another exciting episode of WWE 2K22 Fantasy Warfare. I am your host, Bloody Bill Box. It is the day after Thanksgiving here in the United States. It is Black Friday, as they say. If you're an American viewer, I hope you had a wonderful day with your families yesterday. Or if you don't like your families, I hope something burnt or set on fire. No injuries, but I hope something brought you a chuckle. If you had to spend your day in the presence of family you don't enjoy. But enough turkey talk, enough Thanksgiving talk. Let's move on to the pro wrestling talk here this week. It is Tag Team Week here on Fantasy Warfare, in the spirit of WWE Survivor Series, which takes place tomorrow, Saturday, November 26th, airing on Peacock and the WWE Network. You're welcome for your free plug there, my friends. But in the spirit of WWE Survivor Series and the old classic tagline, Teams of 5 fighting to survive, we are going to present to you 6 action-packed tag team contests this week. A slew of stipulations, a slew of titles on the line. It is going to be bonkers here this week on Fantasy Warfare. But before we get into the matches this week here on Fantasy Warfare, we are going to take a look back at some of the exciting action from last week's episode that was capped off with an action-packed, one-sided to some degree, main event between Chyna and Stephanie McMahon. And once we take a look back at last week's happenings, we are going to head right down to ringside for this week's opening contest. In one corner, it will be the Masters of the Tables, the Dudley Boys, and in the other corner, it will be the team of badasses from the streets of Chicago, the Legion of Doom. And here we go, stipulation time, my friends. This one will be a 2 out of 3 falls tables match for the ECW World Tag Team Championship. But, like I said, let's take a look back at some of the highlights from last week, and then I will see you down at ringside. Welcome to ringside for this week's edition of Fantasy Warfare. What an opening contest we have for you. It's a 2 out of 3 falls tables match. And here comes our first team. Let's take it down to ringside for the introductions. Hawk and Animal, the Road Warriors, the Legion of Doom, no strangers to street fight situations here today. It will be a tables match. And it will be a best 2 out of 3 falls tables match in which you must score 2 table breaks in order to get the victory here. No sudden break of a table is going to get you a sudden win here. You're going to get 2 of them. And the winner will walk away with the ECW World Tag Team Championship. And the Legion of Doom's opponents here today are no strangers to the ECW World Tag Team Championships. It's going to be Bubba Ray and Devon, the Dudley Boys. The masters of the flaming tables in ECW, the masters of the table everywhere else they went, because most other places wouldn't let them set things on fire. But here comes the team from Dudleyville. It's Bubba Ray, it's Devon. Well, I guess the ring announcer decided he didn't need to finish the introduction, so we'll finish it up for him. From Dudleyville, it's Bubba Ray, it's Devon, it's the Dudley Boys. Dudley Boys donning their ECW attire here tonight for this 2 out of 3 falls tables match. This night is full of stipulations and championships on the line, and we'll talk about all the other matches taking place this week at the conclusion of this contest. Of course, as we know, in the main event, it will be FTR and the Steiner brothers. But we're going to start things off with a tables match here, as the Dudley Boys have settled into the ring. There you see the ECW World Tag Team Championship on your screen. Well, it was on your screen. So here we go. It's Tornado rules. So the action will be fast and furious. It will be everywhere. It will probably be tough to keep up with. Devon out to the floor already. Animal climbing the top rope. You can see it there in the background as Bubba Ray Dudley is hammering away with the beats to the chest of Hawk. Hits him hard in the chest. Holy moly! Hawk just went through a table. The Dudleys are up 1-0 already. This match is barely a minute old, and the Dudleys have taken a 1-0 lead here in this tables match. Hard lariat there by Devon Dudley to Animal. So basically we've got it paired off here. It's Devon Dudley with Animal, and then we have got Hawk with Bubba Ray Dudley. Like we said, the action is going to be tough to keep up with at various times here at the chaotic nature of this contest. Bubba Ray thrown over the top rope by Hawk, now draped up over the top in the ring. Oh, hard shot to the back, slams him down hard. It's Black Friday here in the United States. Everybody going bonkers over the latest gadgets. Just a couple of days before Thanksgiving, I've talked with my neighbors and tried to find some virtual reality to it. And I'm over here being all like, cool, I wonder if there's going to be any old video games on sale for like $10. Black Friday is quite the phenomenon, but speaking of phenomenons, Fantasy Warfare quickly becoming a YouTube favorite with our viewers. And if you want to be sure to get in on the action, make sure you turn on your notifications, turn the little bell on, subscribe. And of course, if there's a match that you would like to see, drop it in the comments. Find me over on social media at Bloody Bill Fox. Let me know what matches you want to see. We've had one viewer give enough ideas for one entire show, and I think that particular viewer will be happy with next week's main event, which we'll talk about at the end of the show. But let's get back into the contest instead of doing all the advertising housekeeping. The Dudley boys are up 1-0 in this tables match. This is exactly how Bubba Ray was able to send Hawk through the table to begin with at the start of this contest. I would say, to my knowledge, there's no table there this time, only the rubble of the previous table, as Bubba Ray Dudley is going to set up a table in the ring. Here comes Hawk as Animal is getting his own table. Gonna set up on the floor. Oh, Hawk had an opportunity at a power slam there. I don't know what he was thinking. He should have gone for the big slam there. He could have evened it up for the Road Warriors at 1-1, but instead the Dudleys remain up 1-0. Hawk hammering away at Bubba Ray as Animal is hammering away at Devon Dudley. The Road Warriors need to put the Dudley boys through a table. They are down 1-0. All it's going to take for the Dudleys is one more table break, and they take the victory and the ECW World Tag Team Championship. But right now, the Road Warriors have the advantage over the Dudleys. Devon Dudley has been taken out of commission. He's on the floor. Hard lariat by Bubba Ray Dudley. And now Bubba hitting him with the old dusty razzle-dazzle, but here comes Devon instead, and Bubba didn't look too impressed with that. Bubba was going for the old dusty razzle-dazzle. Devon got in the way. Oh, power bomb by Hawk, but he gets hit with a table for his troubles. I think Devon might have bounced his head off the table on that power bomb. He looks dazed and confused as Bubba Ray Dudley leans a table in the corner. We've got two tables leaned in a corner right now. Irish whip sends Devon into the corner as Bubba is locking the arms of Hawk behind the body here. Odd choice of maneuvers to go for a submission type hold in a tables match, especially when you've got two tables leaned up in corners. I would think that you might want to try to put your opponent through the table, and now Bubba is once again going for that submission-like hold. It's not really a submission because he just kind of cranks the wrist, but then he drives his two big bulky knees right down into the back, as he just did. Animal, he's got Devon Dudley up on his shoulders, and he just dumps him out to the floor. The Road Warriors almost don't even seem interested in breaking the tables here. They just seem like they want to beat the hell out of the Dudleys. Big-time neck breaker by Hawk. Animal is in such a position that you can't even see what he's doing. Apparently, we don't believe in cutting the cameras for this match. You know, maybe change of view there. Technical director man? Nope, nothing? Okay, fine, whatever. Devon rolling back into the ring now. Animal finally turning his attention back to the match. He gets thrown into the table in the corner as Bubba Ray Dudley just cracked Hawk with a table. Bubba Ray Dudley bringing Hawk over to the table. What's he going to do with him? He's got him set up. What's he going to do? Could it be powerbomb time? Yes, it is. Powerbomb through the table, and the Dudley boys win this one 2-0. They win it by a score of 2-0, and they are your brand new ECW World Tag Team Champions. To my knowledge, this is the first title match to occur in Fantasy Warfare. We'll tell you what that means for anybody that wins a title coming up next. The brand new ECW World Tag Team Champions, but we are going to head backstage in just a moment, and then when we come back, we will have more tag team action here on Fantasy Warfare. disappointing loss for the Legion of Doom in that one, being swept out 2-0 at the hands of the Dudley Boys. The Dudley Boys now reigning as the ECW World Tag Team Championship. Now you might be wondering, what's the deal with championships and Fantasy Warfare? Well, anytime the Dudley Boys are in action here on Fantasy Warfare from here on out, and the same goes for any other teams that win a title here today, here on out, anytime they are in competition, their championships will be on the line. There's no non-title situations. If you are a champion in Fantasy Warfare, anytime you step foot in the ring, those titles will be on the line. So the Dudley Boys walk away with the ECW World Tag Team Championship after a 2-0 win in a 2-out-of-3 falls tables match. Unfortunately for the Legion of Doom, Hawk went through the table twice. He went through the table early in the contest. He went through the table in the deciding table bump, if you will. So it'll be interesting to see what the health status of Hawk is going forward and what that could mean for the Legion of Doom's chances of chasing any of the various tag team gold that exists here in Fantasy Warfare. But before we head back down to ringside for our next contest this week, let's take a look at some of the other matches that will be taking place here in Tag Team Week. We've got one match down. We've still got 5 to go. 5 to go. I'm excited, baby. 5 to go. Let's take a look at what those 5 matches are going to be. Coming up next, we'll be heading down to the ring for the Hollywood Blondes versus the Young Bucks. Then in our third match of the evening, we will head back to the ring. Well, we're always going to be heading back to the ring, but we're going to head back one more time for the HART Foundation versus the Harlem Heat. Then we will head back one more time. Let's just say it every time. Money Incorporated versus the Faces of Fear. Our 5th match of the evening. There we go. We're mixing it up. It's the Outsiders versus the Demolition. And then in our main event this week, it will be FTR versus the Steiner brothers. Now, coming up next, it's going to be Tornado Rules, and it will be for the WCW World Tag Team Championship. In one corner, as we said, it will be the Hollywood Blondes, Stunning Steve Austin and Flying Brian Pillman. And in the other corner, it will be Nick and Matt, the Young Bucks. Let's head on back down to the ring for some more Fantasy Warfare. Welcome back to Fantasy Warfare, my friends. It is now time for Tornado Tag Team action for the WCW World Tag Team Championship.
Is a Tornado Tag Team match. It is for the WCW World Tag Team Championship. On the way to the ring, at a combined weight of 473 pounds, the Hollywood
Stunning Steve Austin and Flying Brian Pillman making their way to the ring for this WCW World Tag Team Tornado Tag Team match. How many times do we say tag team in that sentence? Stunning Steve and Flying Brian looking to take home the WCW gold that they have held before. But they have a tough challenge at their feet today as they go up against Nick and Matt Jackson, the Young Bucks. But as we just shared a few moments ago, anybody that wins a championship here in Fantasy Warfare will have to defend their championship anytime they are in the ring. So now, coming out of the opening contest, the Dudley Boys will have to defend the ECW World Tag Team Championship anytime they are in action here on Fantasy Warfare. Same thing will go for whomever comes out of this matchup on top. Whether it's the Hollywood Blondes or whether it is the Young Bucks, whoever wins this contest will have to defend the WCW World Tag Team Championship anytime they're in a match here on Fantasy Warfare. There you see the classic WCW World Tag Team Championships on display. Stunning Steve, Flying Brian, the Young Bucks. It's Tornado Tag Team rules. Much similar to the opening contest, except this one is not so much of an anything goes, but it is Tornado rules, so the action will be fast and furious and all over the place with the WCW Tag Team titles on the line. Oh, brutal shot there. I don't even know which one is which here. I think that one's Matt on the ropes, and that's Nick there. Or maybe that's Matt with that move there. I'm not sure. We got an early cover, only a count of 1. Nobody put the indicators on the Young Bucks. I still have no freaking clue. That doesn't tell me anything. Maybe it does. Let's get a good look at it. All right, so I'm gonna assume the darker-haired fella is Matt and the lighter-haired one is Nick. Kudos to the creator in the WWE 2K22 Community Creations for rocking it out there so well that I can't tell the difference between these two. But I can tell the difference between Stunning Steve Austin, Flying Brian, as Nick Jackson. There we go. I can definitely tell the difference there. That was definitely Nick Jackson missing that springboard moonsault, but he don't miss with that lariat as he goes into the cover on Flying Brian, only getting the count of 1. As Matt Jackson was taking it to Steve Austin, but Austin with a jawbreaker, and then he gets caught with a spinning heel kick. Referee into the cover for Pillman, but we got a rope break. Matt Jackson's got a cover on Austin, but Pillman's tying him up, arguing, and then Pillman's able to break up that pinfall. Shot to the knee. Suplex by Pillman. Nope. Reversal by Nick Jackson. German suplex. Oh, hard shot to the jawline as Steve Austin sends him crashing down to the floor. Brian Pillman bringing Nick over to the ropes. What's he going to do with him? Irish whip, sends him off the opposite side, slides underneath, comes up. Hurricane Rana as Stone Cold Steve, not Stone Cold Steve Austin, we're getting ahead of ourselves there. Stunning Steve Austin got dropped on his head on the floor. Beautiful moonsault in the ring by Brian Pillman. He goes into the cover. Here comes Matt Jackson, and he runs out instead. That was weird. I thought he was going to break up the pin for his brother on that one, but that was not to be. Brian Pillman going for something there. He gets caught with a spear by Nick Jackson. Pillman brought back up to his feet. Oh, almost got caught with a super kick. Sweeps the leg. Oh, hard knee to the head of Matt Jackson on the floor by Steve Austin. Standing shooting star press by Brian Pillman as Matt Jackson gets thrown around by Steve Austin. Stunning Steve Austin, not Stone Cold Steve Austin. Spear in the ring. We got a suplex reversal on the floor into a German suplex by Steve Austin on Matt Jackson. Nick in the ring with Brian into a cover. We get 1, we get 2, and that's all we get on that one. This has been split momentum for both of these teams thus far in this contest. Oh, brutal shot there on the floor. I think Steve Austin might be busted open. I feel like I saw a flash of red as Brian Pillman hits another Hurricane Rana in the ring, going for the cover. We get 1, we get 2, and we get 3. The Hollywood Blondes have won the WCW World Tag Team Championship. Brian Pillman hitting the Hurricane Rana on Nick Jackson in the ring, securing the victory as we take a look back at some of the highlights from this contest. Here you see one of the Hurricane Ranas right there. Beautiful moonsault during the contest by Pillman. That was one of the near falls in this match, but ultimately it's a Hurricane Rana that secures the victory for the Hollywood Blondes, who are now the WCW World Tag Team Champions. And as we noted before, anytime they appear here going forward on Fantasy Warfare, they will be defending the Tag Team Championship.
And the new WCW World Tag Team Champions, the Hollywood Blondes.
We're going to take just a quick moment here to reset. We are going to talk about our next contest, and then we will be right back here at ringside for some more Fantasy Warfare. Well, my friends, the Young Bucks come up short on that one. Tornado rules, there's action everywhere, there's fighting all over the place, and in the end, it's stunning Steve Austin and flying Brian Pillman walking away with titles that they have held in their careers before, the WCW World Tag Team Championship. I gotta share, just on a personal note, the particular belts that Stunning Steve and Flying Brian walked away with here today are some of my favorite Tag Team Championship belts from a belt design perspective. I love championship belts, my friends, and if you have a favorite belt that you just love, maybe you've got it on your wall, maybe you've got it in a larger collection, share it down in the comments here on YouTube, just for kicks. What's your favorite championship belt? But the WCW World Tag Team Championships won here today by the Hollywood Blondes, one of my personal favorite championship belts, especially if we're talking favorite tag team championship designs. But enough rambling out of me. Let's head on back down to the ring. Our next contest is going to just be a straight up tag team match because we felt that the differing styles would be enough. However, there will be some championships to be decided. So it's going to be a straight up tag team match, but on one side, we've got Power and Technician. And then on the other side, we've got just straight up street brawlers. It's going to be the Hart Foundation's Bret the Hitman Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart in one corner, going up against Booker T and Stevie Ray, Harlem Heat, for the WWE World Tag Team Championship. Let's head on back down to ringside. Welcome back to Fantasy Warfare. We are back down at ringside for some more tag team action here as part of Tag Team Week. This one's going to just be a straight up wrestling contest.
Is scheduled for one fall, and is for the WWE World Tag Team Championship. On the way to the ring, at a combined weight of 516 pounds, Jim the Anvil Neidhart and Bret the Hitman Hart, the Hart Foundation.
Bret the Hitman Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart making their second appearance here on Fantasy Warfare. They were a part of the very first episode in a winning effort against FTR, who will be in tonight's main event. But today they will battle it out for the WWE Tag Team Championships that they held multiple times. And they're going to battle it out with a team who held the WCW Tag Team Championship multiple times.
At a combined weight of 576 pounds, Harlem Heat.
It's Booker T and Stevie Ray, Harlem Heat. What are they, 10, 11-time WCW Tag Team Championships held? They're still winning tag team titles as of a recent couple of years ago in Booker T's Reality of Wrestling. Booker T and Stevie Ray proving that they can still go at a moment's notice even in the 2021-2022 era of professional wrestling. But here, they are going to battle it out against one of the greatest tag teams in pro wrestling history, Bret the Hitman Hart, Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Getting their start in the WWE in the early 1980s, managed by Jimmy Mouth of the South Hart. Eventually breaking off, becoming one of the most popular tag teams in the WWE, before eventually splitting off and becoming singles competitors. Bret the Hitman Hart, of course, went on to legendary status. Jim the Anvil Neidhart didn't quite have the same legendary status that Bret the Hitman Hart did, but he did have himself a respectful run in WWE as a tag team performer and a secondary character to the likes of Owen Hart, and even later on, Bret the Hitman Hart and the Hart Foundation. But here we go. This one's for the WWE Tag Team Championships, those classic belts we talked about in the last break segment. The WCW Classic titles there that were just won by the Hollywood Blondes are one of my favorite designs, but my all-time favorite Tag Team Championship design is the ones up for grabs here today in this contest. Those classic 1980s, early 1990s WWE Tag Team Championship belts. Of course, in this game, they call it the 97 to 02, so obviously we've got some shading differences of things of that sort from the 80s and the 90s. Don't come for me, belt marks. Anyway, this particular design, whatever the version is one of my favorites, and it looks like we have got blood on the field as Bret the Hitman Hart was driving in the knee right into the face. I believe that's Stevie Ray, or is that Booker T? I really need to put on the old spectacles here. This commentary man is becoming an old man. My vision's getting bad. Irish whip into the corner by Bret the Hitman Hart. Oh, nice flying forearm. Driving the knee into the mat. Nobody was home on that one. Booker T getting hammered on by Bret the Hitman Hart. Bret now with a swinging neck breaker on Booker T. Twice tonight I've been fooled by these tag teams. Hey, you know, that's a beautiful thing. You know, these tag teams, they look like tag teams, and in the case of Booker T and Stevie Ray, they are literal brothers, much like Matt and Nick Jackson were. I'm getting fooled by these brothers tonight. The brothers not only looking like tag teams, but looking like siblings to the point I can't even tell them apart. But anyway, back to the action here in this contest as Jim the Anvil Neidhart showing a power display. Then he gets the legs swept out from underneath him by Booker T. Oh, nice spinning kick by Booker T as he makes a tag. Nice takedown by Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Bringing Stevie Ray over to the corner. Oh, hard shots in the corner by Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Oh, beautiful Beal. Neidhart sending him across the ring and now choking the life out of him. What a power display by the Anvil as he makes a tag to Bret the Hitman Hart. Both of these teams jockeying for the advantage in this one. Bret going for a lariat, but he gets caught. Oh, nice power slam, scoop slam, whatever you want to call it. I call it my spine hurts. Harlem Heat making a tag as Booker T now coming back into the ring. Hard chop by Booker T on Bret the Hitman Hart. Irish whip sends him into the corner. Another knife edge chop and another. And, oh, that one got blocked by Bret. Here comes Bret with a toe kick, locking him up. Going for a DDT, but he gets countered by Booker T. Up to the top rope he goes. He's calling on Bret to get up to his feet. What are we going to see here? In a flying cross body, spinning his body midair to spin around into it, into the cover. Referee in great position, but we only get a count of one on that one. Oh, nice standing side kick by Booker T as he makes a tag to his brother Stevie Ray. And here comes Stevie Ray into the cover. We get a count. We get two, and Jim the Anvil Neidhart able to break up the pinfall on that one. Hard shot there. Sends Bret into the corner. Anvil still in the ring. Harlem Heat takes care of that one. Referee was starting the 5 count, which could have led to a disqualification. I'm not quite sure what would have happened in that case if we had a disqualification. Would there have been champions on a DQ, even though the title is vacant currently? Wonder how the old game there would have decided that one. That'd be an interesting scenario for any of our future title matches that could have a vacant champion. Elbows to the midsection by Bret the Hitman Hart, backs him off. Now elbows once more by... Stevie Ray with the pump kick. Into the cover on Bret. And only a 2.5 on that one. Thought we were going to see a 3 count there, but it was not to be, as Bret Hart was able to kick out at the last second. Up to the top rope, and he went for the Houston hangover, the Harlem hangover, whatever the hell you want to call it, but in the end, nobody was home. I almost said, but I call it. I almost used that joke a second time within the same match. Can't use the same joke within the same match. Got to at least spread out your recycled jokes across multiple segments. So, like, I could do we call it the Houston hangover, whatever you want to call it, but I call it this. I could do it, like, in another match. Can't do it here. But what can be done there was that vertical suplex by Booker T. Bret Hart makes a tag to Jim the Anvil Neidhart, who comes into the ring and gets held up by Bret's presence, who then catches a chop to the jawline by Booker T. Hard shot by Bret Hart, sends him down to the floor. And now he's back into the ring, grabbing the ankle, and he gets kicked away by Booker T. Booker T taking a moment to interact with the fans. He grabs Anvil from behind, bringing him back over to the Harlem Heat corner. Nice knife edge chop, and then an overhead punch right to the forehead. Flying clothesline by Booker T takes Jim the Anvil Neidhart down. Nice knee drop to the mouth. I don't think the Anvil will be doing any laughing about that one, as he just ate Booker T's knee for lunch. Or dinner, I'm not quite sure. Either way, he ate it for a meal. But now, Anvil back on the offense. Gut-wrench suplex takes Booker T over. Anvil makes a tag to Bret the Hitman Hart. And Stevie Ray has been tagged in, it looks like, for Harlem Heat. Referee's not arguing with him, so it must be legal. Boot to the midsection by Stevie Ray. He's got Bret Irish whip into the corner. Goes for the boot, but Bret catches him with a back elbow instead. Bret's got him up. Scoop slam. And Bret's looking for the sharpshooter. This could be all. He's got it turned over, but he's got it too close to the ropes, and the referee has to call for the rope break. That's got to be very disappointing to Bret Hart on that one, as he was probably looking to get a submission victory, take home some championship gold for the Hart Foundation. He goes into a cover instead after failing to get the tap out or even really stand a chance. But referee with a count of 2 on that one, as Bret Hart now heads up to the middle rope. What's he going to go for here? He's just kind of standing there. Okay. That was unique. That was a flying fist drop, Jerry Lawler style, to absolutely nobody. It's like Bret wasn't even interested in actually trying to hit that flying fist drop. It's like he got up there and said, hey, you know what would be fun right now? A flying fist drop to nothing. And that's exactly what happened. Anvil just tried to stomp, but rolled out of the way. Nothing happened there. We got another tag by Harlem Heat. That's one thing you can say in this match. There's been a lot of fluid tags back and forth. Nice kick there. Kick to the thigh. Both teams have been tagging back and forth. Stevie Ray busted open in the corner. And the Anvil going for the submission here. He's got him in the camel clutch. In that first week against FTR, we had controversy over that camel clutch. There was a tap out. There was somebody in the ropes. There was a rope break, but Anvil still ended up getting the pinfall victory that time. But in this occurrence, he gets thrown out to the floor, as opposed to being able to immediately transition into a pinfall. Referee reaches the count of 2, but Anvil not wasting any time. He got right back in the ring. He's not even working that 10 count. Anvil's just ready to go here in this one for the WWE Tag Team Championship. Nice peel by the Anvil. Sends him across the ring. Stevie Ray watching on as his partner and brother Booker T is being decimated by the Anvil. Booker T tried to get back on the offense there for a hot minute, but he got his face bitten off for his troubles. Anvil with yet another counter on Booker T. Oh, driving him down. Face first. Ouch. That one had to hurt. Anvil's got him on the shoulders. Big time power slam going for the cover. Foot is under the rope. Damn, the rope breaks in this one. They keep hurting the Hart Foundation. Anvil's got him up again. Going for a second power slam. That's a second one. This time, there is absolutely no rope break, but Stevie Ray able to break up the pin. Oh, colliding with the referee. Surprised the referee is still standing after that one. Usually all it takes is a gentle breeze, and those referees will be out for 5 years. Brett tagged back into the ring by the Anvil. Now Brett in the corner. Let's see what he does there. Goes for the flying elbow drop. Nobody home on that one. But he is able to get back up to his feet, throwing shots lefts and rights at. I believe that's Booker T in there. I've lost all track of who. That's Booker T. Stevie Ray don't fly like that. I was losing track of who was tagged in. We talked about it before. These teams have been making frequent tags all throughout the contest. And as I talked about before, I'm getting fooled by these teams of brothers. So far, 2 matches. This is our 3rd match, and 2 different teams of brothers have fooled me by dressing the same and looking the same as a result of being friggin' siblings. First, it was Nick and Matt, the Young Bucks, and this time it was Booker T and Stevie Ray. Hard punch and chop combo in the corner by Booker T on Bret Hart. These 2 teams just battling it out back and forth, trading the offensive advantage back and forth. Bret able to kick out. Anvil was not there in time. I'm not sure what his delay was, but he was not able to get there. The reason why that was not a 3 count was because of the grit and determination of Bret the Hitman Hart, who was able to kick out at the last second, and then he hits a spinning neck breaker as Jim the Anvil Neidhart exits the ring. We get a cover, 2, and Stevie Ray is there to break up the pin. Stevie Ray thrown out to the floor. Bret Hart trying for a scoop slam. He gets countered by Booker T. Booker T into a cover. We get 1, we get 2, and that's all we get, as Bret Hart is able to kick out yet again before the ref's hand comes down for the count of 3. Double axe handle off the top rope, hits Bret Hart square in the top of the dome, but a clothesline takes the action back out to the floor. Referee starting the 10 count on these 2 on the floor. Arm wringer by Booker T. Bret Hart rolling through. We got technical masterpieces starting out on the floor. Referee reaching a count of 4 in this one. Booker T taking a minute to get a breather, but Bret Hart giving chase out to the floor. We get a falling reverse DDT by Bret the Hitman Hart, and then Booker T returns fire with a kick to the top of the head. Spin-a-rooney by Booker T. Getting the crowd pumped up in this one. Bret now, he's got Booker T up, driving the knee into the shin. Bret's got him. What's he gonna do here? Pile driver. Top of the skull into the mat. Bret into the cover. Referee there for a count of 1, 2. Oh, Stevie Ray tries to break up the pin, but he falls short of breaking up the pin. I don't know what the hell happened there, but we have got brand new tag team champions, and it's Bret Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart, the Hart Foundation, with a hard-fought victory here today in Fantasy Warfare as we take a look back at those highlights. What a hard-fought victory for the Hart Foundation, but we are now at the halfway point of Fantasy Warfare. We're going to take a brief break, and then we'll be right back. So don't you dare go anywhere. Fantasy Warfare continues next. Unfortunate timing for Stevie Ray running in at the very last second to try and make the save as Booker T was being pinned. But unfortunately for him, I don't know if he slipped, I don't know if he got caught on the canvas or what the story was, but he just missed breaking up the pin, and it is the Hart Foundation who picks up the victory, walking away with the WWE World Tag Team Championship. I don't know what, if I were Stevie Ray, I'd be watching that footage. I'm in total shock myself because I really thought the match was going to just continue at that point in time. It seemed pretty academic that a pinfall was about to be broken up. I'm not sure what happened there, but Stevie Ray, don't beat yourself up too hard, buddy. We've all tripped. Not many of us have tripped with championships on the line, but still, you know, it's cool. I'm not very good at sympathy. I'm sorry. Anyway, coming up next, let's head on back down to ringside. Back on down to ringside, we are going to put the NWA World Tag Team Championships on the line with two teams who have never even competed for the NWA World Tag Team Championships. There you go. Let's make it real interesting for this one. In one corner, it's going to be the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, and Erwin R. Shyster, Money Incorporated. And they are going to go up against one of the most gruesome? That ain't even a word. That isn't even a word. That's what you get for saying ain't, my friends. Try not to put ain't in your vocabulary because it messes you up just like it messed me up just right there. Anyway, in the other corner, it's going to be one of the most gruesome, there we go, we got it there, gruesome tag teams in professional wrestling history. It is Ming and the Barbarian, the Faces of Fear. And what is the stipulation in this one? Well, it's an elimination match under First Blood rules. So the only way to win this match is to make not only one opponent bleed, but both opponents bleed. So let's head on down to ringside and see which team is about to bleed buckets all over Montreal. Welcome back to Fantasy Warfare. It is now time for an elimination First Blood match, and what potential this one has on paper. Two of the most gruesome, there we go, we got it right again, gruesome men to ever step foot into the professional wrestling rings. Step foot here into Fantasy Warfare, where the object is to make your opponents bleed. Ming and the Barbarian coming down to the ring for, like we said, a match where the object is to make your opponents bleed. I'm not quite sure if there are many other matches that could be more up the wheelhouse of the Faces of Fear other than this. It's First Blood style, it's elimination rules. The winners walk away with the NWA World Tag Team Championship. Money Incorporated has a large mountain to climb here today. There's really no other way to put it other than to say that Money Incorporated, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, and Erwin R. Shyster have a very, very tall mountain ahead of them. And here they come.
At a combined weight of 547 pounds, Money Incorporated.
Everybody's gonna pay.
It's the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, the self-proclaimed $1 Million champion, and his tag team partner, Erwin R. Shyster, otherwise known as IRS. Multiple-time WWE Tag Team Champions looking to add another set of gold to the resume of the team of Money Incorporated. Here today, it would be the NWA World Tag Team Championships, but they have quite the daunting task in front of them, as they have to make not only one, but both members of the Faces of Fear bleed here today in order to get that done. Can they get it done? I'm not quite sure that they have what it takes to withstand the savagery of the Faces of Fear. I mean, this is Ming and the Barbarian we are talking about here today as their opposition in this elimination first blood match. Like, wow. I typically should not feel sympathy for the combatants here in these contests, but I feel bad for Money Inc. here today. But maybe they'll be able to fight against the tide on this one and come out on top. We'll find out. The bells officially rang. We are underway. Now, this one is interesting. So it is first blood rules, but the tag team rules still apply. So there will only be 2 combatants in the ring at each time. Partners will remain on the outside. You can tag at any time. If your opponent is made to your partner is made to bleed, though, they are gone from the ring. So let's say, for example, the $1 Million Man is made to bleed by the Barbarian here as the Barbarian enters the ring. If Ted DiBiase bleeds, he leaves the ringside area and Erwin R. Shyster goes at it by himself. But if nobody bleeds, then everybody stays in their respective corners until somebody is made to bleed. As IRS, speaking of him, is officially tagged into this contest to go up against the Barbarian. Barbarian bending the arm of IRS backwards, stomping down across it. Beautiful shot by the Barbarian. You're going to wonder when each of these teams are going to start going for the foreheads and the noses and the mouths, or even the internal organs of their opponents here. Because you don't need to walk away with a pinfall. You don't need to walk away with a submission. There's no countouts. There's no DQ. Apparently there's rope break. Why would there be a rope break? It's first blood, but whatever. Wacky and wild rules of this one. Ming choking away at IRS, completely legal on that one. Kicking away, stomping away. Ming now. Oh, jeez, he just got hit hard by IRS, driven down to the mat. IRS making a tag to the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. DiBiase now up on the ropes. What is with these guys tonight in the ropes? I swear. I don't know what is with these guys tonight in the ropes. You think that they would want to, go to the high-risk district or high-rent district, whatever the hell you want to call it. I almost made that joke again. I'm becoming self-aware. You would think that if somebody would want to make that trek to the top rope and take that risk, that it would be more well-calculated than some of the risks that we have seen here tonight from some of these legends of the professional wrestling ring. Bret Hart did a fist drop to absolutely nobody, and Ted DiBiase just did a double axe handle to friggin' nobody as well. Nice drop toe hold by the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, as he makes a tag to IRS. IRS now entering the ring. Oh, hard shot by the Barbarian. So nobody is bleeding yet here in this one. I guess that's a kind of a good sign for everybody involved. No blood trails anywhere yet, as the Barbarian rolls out of the way and takes the legs of Erwin R. Shyster out from underneath him. Oh, stomping at the elbow as the Barbarian makes a tag to Ming. Ming now tagged in, looking to make... Ooh, somebody bleed. No blood on that one. No blood on that one. That was just a hard side kick by Ming as he counters the DDT attempt with a back body drop. Irish whip sends IRS across the ropes into the corner as Ming comes in with a collar and elbow and then driving the skull into the top rope. Now choking the life out of IRS yet again. Ming's got a thing here. For choking out IRS in this end. Back to the choke yet again. Ming continuing to choke away at IRS here in this match. Oh, nice Headbutt by Ming as IRS crawls over to his corner and makes a tag to the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, who comes in throwing fists. Look at those shots right to the mouth. He's looking to make people bleed. DiBiase now coming down hard with the shots to the chest of the Barbarian. We saw those earlier on in the Dudleys and Legion of Doom match, and that's actually what made Hawk go flying through the first table of that match. Thankfully for the Barbarian, though, there were no tables in this one, as he and the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, have taken the action out to the floor. There are no countouts in this one, which made that rope break call even all the more curious. Barbarian back in the ring with Ted DiBiase over the top rope. What's he going to do with him? Oh, Ming brings DiBiase down to the floor, and the Barbarian follows yet again. Oh, nice spinning suplex by the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, as he stomps on the forehead of the Barbarian, clearly looking to break the skin of the Barbarian and get some blood flow going. I mean, it'd be smart to just focus on the forehead and the nose and the mouth, period. I don't know why anybody's messing with arms and legs and stuff. I don't think this referee's going to stop the match over like a skinned elbow. I think we need somebody to be gushing blood here. But we'll find out what this referee's threshold is for the blood once we get to the point of somebody bleeding here in this contest. Boot to the midst. Oh, nice side shot again by the Faces of Fear. This time it's the Barbarian hitting it up to the top rope. Nice splash. No problems with his boots on that one. Nice splash by the Barbarian, driving all of his weight down across the sternum and torso of the $1 Million Man as Ming now re-enters the ring. Well, he's already re-entered. He's in there stomping away at the arm of the $1 Million Man. Again, I don't know why anybody would focus on anything but the forehead, the nose, the mouth, cheekbones, basically all about the skull is where I would be focusing if I were in a situation of trying to make my opponents bleed. That's exactly where I would be going. That's exactly what I'd be doing instead of wasting my time here with suplexes and things of that sort. These things are not going to make anybody bleed. But, hey, that's why they were in the ring. That's why I'm sitting here in a commentary booth. And I'm not in a situation where in order to win, I got to make somebody bleed. Nice sidewalk slam by Ming. Drives IRS down spine first. And then IRS with a counter on Ming. Boot to the midsection. What's he going to go for here? Pile driver. That was shallow, that was stiff, and that was brutal looking. A pile driver by IRS on Ming. Now a camel clutch. I'm not quite sure what that's going to do for him. It really didn't do anything for him as IRS gets countered. And Ming now with the Tongan death grip on IRS. I suppose maybe he could crush something inside the throat and we could get some internal bleeding that gets coughed up by IRS, but otherwise, I remain baffled at why either one of these teams aren't just trying to break open the eyebrows, the forehead, the nose, the lips, the mouth, the teeth, the cheeks. You know, break any of those things open, get that blood flowing, but that's, you know, what I would do if I were in the ring. And with good reason, I'm not. So IRS now raining down the attacks on the Barbarian. And now he makes a tag to the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. DiBiase's got the Barbarian. Irish whip sends him into the far corner. Not the far corner, the upper right corner. Whatever, who cares? Tired. We spent last night at St. Catherine here in Montreal. And if you've ever been to Montreal, you know what St. Catherine is all about. It's a wild, wild... I feel like St. Catherine is... Oh, there we go. Drop toe hold gets the blood drawn. We've got one elimination. But I feel like St. Catherine in Montreal is kind of like the Vegas Strip in Las Vegas. But anyway, I digress. Good times there. Lots of crazy stuff in those clubs. Always be careful. The folks on the street, wash your hands. Anyway, Money Incorporated up 2-1 here as the Barbarian was cracked open by the $1 Million Man, who now has the $1 Million Dream locked on Ming in the center of the ring. That's not going to do anything for trying to make Ming bleed, but it will certainly make him a little woozy, a little daisy, which might open up some offensive advantage for the $1 Million Man, but not to be there as he just got sent head first into the turnbuckle, but he's already countering, but Ming already counters him. We got counters galore here. DiBiase, he's got him up on the shoulders. Oh, down across the top rope, draping the throat of Ming. Does the $1 Million Man. Here comes IRS back into the ring. Money Incorporated holding a 2-1 advantage here in this Team First Blood elimination style. The Barbarian has been eliminated, as you just saw in the lower part of your screen. The Barbarian has returned to the locker room. Ming is out here all by himself. Can he make a major comeback and make not only one, but both members of Money Incorporated bleed their own blood? Things are certainly not looking good at this moment in time, but who knows? Maybe he can make that comeback as the $1 Million Man is waiting for him up on his feet. He's going for the $1 Million Dream yet again, a second time with it. As I said, the benefit here could be for Ming to be in a dazed and confused state, which could allow the $1 Million Man to hit a crucial shot to draw open the blood of Ming. Oh, there it is. The $1 Million Man driving his knuckles into the forehead of Ming, causing the final elimination here in this Elimination First Blood match. And we have brand new NWA World Tag Team Champions, and it's Money Incorporated.
Here are your winners, and the new National Wrestling Alliance Tag Team Champions, Irvin R. Sawyer and the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, Money Incorporated.
Well, did that really go down the way that it just played out? Did Money Incorporated really just sweep the faces of fear? Did Money Incorporated really just make Ming and the Barbarian bleed all over Fantasy Warfare in Montreal? Did Money Incorporated just sweep the faces of fear and walk away with the NWA World Tag Team Championships? Well, my friend, yes, they freaking did. I don't even believe it. I can't believe what I've seen with my own two eyes, but I also didn't have my glasses on, so that's why I was a little skeptical about what I've seen. But I put my glasses on when the replay was going on, and I did see it with my own two prescription-based eyes, that the faces of fear definitely bled all over Fantasy Warfare. Bummer time for the Faces of Fear. Great times for Money Incorporated, who walk away with the NWA World Tag Team Championships. Good times for them. Anyway, coming up next is our fifth match of the evening. It is going to be a 2 out of 3 falls contest under Extreme Rules for the IWGP World Tag Team Championship. Which teams will be competing for it? Well, there's one team that may have competed for these belts at one point in time, given their ties to New Japan Pro Wrestling as part of the NWO. And the other tag team, well, I can't ever imagine when they would have competed for these belts, being a tag team under Vince McMahon's World Wrestling Federation in the 1980s and early 1990s. On that note, let's tell you who those teams are. In one corner, it will be Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, the Outsiders, representing the NWO. And in the other corner, it will be Axe and Smash, Demolition. Let's head on down to the ring, where it is about to get extreme. Welcome back to ringside here in Montreal. It is now time for Extreme Rules action. More 2 out of 3 falls coming at you. Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, the NWO, coming here looking to bring home some tag team championships to the NWO here today, the IWGP tag team titles. The Outsiders nor their opponents Demolition have held these titles before, but here today both of these teams will have a chance to walk away with those gold. Here comes the axe and here comes the smash.
Weight of 676 pounds, Demolition!
I'm not just sitting here, banging my head. Demolition theme, one of the best round. Gonna rock out now to the Demolition. I was doing great until the very end. All right, enough karaoke time. There you see the IWGP Tag Team title on your screen. That's what it's all about here today is the IWGP Tag Team titles. It's Extreme Rules. It's 2 out of 3 falls. It's been all-out chaos here this week. It is Tag Team Week. We already have an exciting week of matches planned for you next week. Don't you go anywhere after the conclusion of this week's main event, as we will unveil the main event for our 4th episode taking place next Friday. And that date, in case you're looking for reference, is Friday, December the 2nd, 6 p.m. Eastern, will be the 4th episode of Fantasy Warfare. And of course, we'll announce the full card on Wednesday, November the 30th at 6 p.m. right here, youtube.com/@BloodyBillVox. Or I assume you could probably just put in @BloodyBillVox and find the channel. But either way, that's the full URL, youtube.com/@BloodyBillVox. Join us next Wednesday, November the 30th for the 4th episode match card announcement. And then, of course, join us next Friday, December the 2nd at 6 p.m. for our next episode of Fantasy Warfare. But we're getting way ahead of ourselves here, talking about next week. We still got this week going on here, as Kevin Nash has brought a ladder into the proceedings here for this Extreme Rules match. It looks like we've got a pairing off here of Kevin Nash with Smash. Nash with Smash, Hall with Axe, as we get a choke slam in the ring by Scott Hall. Scott Hall into a cover, but the referee, what is he like? Is he dazed and confused? That referee must have been on St. Catherine last night as well. He must have joined the bars. Maybe he got into a little bit of the wacky tobacco. I'm not quite sure, but either way, the action continues here as Axe is thrown out to the floor by Scott Hall. Oh, Jesus. Smash thrown to the floor by Kevin Nash, press slam style, into a cover on the floor. Axe is running to break up the pin, and he is way late. Thankfully for him, Smash was able to kick out at the last second, but man, was he freaking late on that one. Super duper late. Crowd chanting for tables in this one. They'd like to see some table action coming at ya. Scott Hall now going for the razor's edge, the outsider's edge, whatever you would like to call it. I will call it devastating as we make that joke for a second time. Not so self-aware. I mean, self-aware. I knew I made the joke again. And there we have it. The first fall in favor of the outsiders, with the outsider's edge leading to a 3 count, putting the outsiders up. Scott Hall and Axe still battling it out. What is Scott Hall doing? Oh, nice hard shot. Nearly sends Axe flying out of the ring as Smash was bouncing the skull of Kevin Nash off the canvas. Demolition now down 1 fall to 0 in this one. They are now in the come from behind spot. Smash tried to get a pinfall on Kevin Nash on that one, but it was to no avail as Kevin Nash was able to kick out at the count of 2. Oh, nice power slam by Smash. And a hard clothesline by Kevin Nash. As Scott Hall is draped over the guardrail by Axe on the floor. This action is fast and furious all over the ring here. We still have our main event to come. Coming up next, it will be Falls Count Anywhere for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. Kevin Nash getting a dose of his own medicine as Smash just threw him to the floor, not even press slammed him. He just power slam pressed him to the floor. And somehow that's only worth a 2 count as Smash went for the cover. Axe went for the cover on Scott Hall in the ring, but the referee was out of the ring, counting the fall on the floor. This is a match that certainly could have benefited from a second referee. But in this case, we've only got 1 referee available, and that has created a challenge here, as Axe might have been able to put away Scott Hall for a 3 count to even up the falls at 1 apiece. But instead it remains 1-0 in favor of the outsiders, and Scott Hall was trying for the outsider's edge again on Axe. This time Axe able to counter it. Scott Hall sent out to the floor by Axe as Kevin Nash and Smash continue to battle it out in the ring. Knife edge chop ducked by Kevin Nash. He's got Smash up on, oh, nice rib breaker there by Kevin Nash. Thought he might have been going for a power slam on that one. He went for the rib breaker. Oh, what's he going for? Oh, Jesus. Smash's spine and hips have got to be destroyed in this one. Referee running out to the floor, going for a cover. We get 2. And somehow Smash is able to kick out of that one at the count of 2. I don't even know how he managed to do that one, folks. For all intents and purposes, he should be pretty much unconscious at this point. But somehow Smash is still going. Scott Hall is dominating Axe in the ring right now. The outsiders in firm control of this contest. Electric chair drop by Scott Hall on Axe. It is not looking good for Demolition in this one. The outsiders in firm control at this moment. Scott Hall misses a clothesline. Axe moving out of the way. Scott Hall eats the ladder instead as Kevin Nash drops an elbow on Smash. Smash rolls out to the floor as Axe eats ladder in the ring, and Kevin Nash now raining down with fists of fury across the facial features of Axe. Doing it a second time as Scott Hall just chilling with the ladder. Oh! Scott Hall hits Axe with the ladder. Now setting that ladder up in the center of the ring. I'm not quite sure why he's doing that. It's not a ladder match. It is just simply an Extreme Rules match. And hell, without the use of a plethora of weapons, this match has been plenty extreme as Smash is there to break up the pinfall attempt by Kevin Nash on Axe. And now Axe is out to the floor for some recovery time as the outsiders continue this mauling of Demolition. I don't know if I can ever recall quite a time where Demolition has been dominated in the manner that they are being dominated here today by the Outsiders, but here it is. It's the time that it's happening. Kevin Nash and Scott Hall are just beating the holy hell out of Demolition in this one. Standing vertical suplex by Kevin Nash, driving down, smash, spine first. Axe has got Scott Hall up. What's he going to do with Scott Hall? Powerbomb to the floor. Oh, powerbomb in the ring. Scott Hall, though, powerbombs Axe to the floor. That is the third time that poor man has been slammed from the ring to the floor. Referee rushing out to the pinfall. We get two. And we only get two as Scott Hall hits a choke slam in the ring. We get a cover in the ring, choke slam on Smash, or on Axe, but we got the 3 count. The camera went to the floor and missed the 3 count in the ring, but it was the choke slam by Scott Hall on Axe that secures the victory and the IWGP Tag Team Championship for the Outsiders. Some of the highlights from this one. It's the Outsiders that walk away with the gold. We're going to take a brief break, and then when we return, it will be main event time for the AEW World Tag Team Championship Fantasy Warfare. We'll be right back. Scott Hall and Kevin Nash bringing more gold to the NWO's impressive championship resume with a 2-0 sweep over Demolition in that best 2 out of 3 falls Extreme Rules match. What a night of action it has been here at Fantasy Warfare, live from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. But we still have one more match to go, and that, my friends, is our main event. It is going to be a Falls Count Anywhere elimination match. And it is going to be for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. Now, we tried to make this for the AEW and early 90s NWA World Tag Team Championships currently held by the Steiner brothers, but for some reason, WWE 2K22 management offices, software developers, I don't even know, wouldn't let me do title versus title in this one, so it's only for the AEW World Championship. Tag Team Championships. In any event. In one corner, it is going to be FTR, and in the other corner, it is going to be the Steiner brothers. And it should be noted that the Steiner brothers NWA Tag Team Championships are not on the line in this one, as it would not allow for title versus title. But FTR is in fact defending the AEW World Tag Team Championships, a set of titles that, in reality, some folks feel that they should already be holding. Well, they hold them here in Fantasy Warfare. So without further ado, no more yammering around, no more talking. Let's head on down to the ring for our main event, FTR versus the Steiner brothers. Here we go, folks. It's main event time. It's the final match of this week's episode of Fantasy Warfare. As we explained, we tried to get this to be a title-for-title contest with the, there you see the late 80s, early 90s version of the NWA Tag Team Championships. We tried to get those to be put on the line. And we tried to get them put on the line against the AEW tag titles, but instead it's just one title's on the line.
And it's for the All-Star Wrestling World Tag Team Championship. Introducing the challengers at a combined weight of 548 pounds, the Steiner Brothers.
Rick and Scott, the Steiner brothers, the NWA World Tag Team Championships, the exception to the rule here of defending the titles, as for some reason the title versus title situation would not be permitted in this match. And instead, it's the AEW World Tag Team Championships only that are on the line. And here come the champions.
At a combined weight of 457 pounds, they are the All-Star Wrestling World Tag Team Champions.
Hey, wait a minute. FTR's throwing their belts down. They're running in the ring. They're not even taking their jackets off. This one is officially underway. So similar to the First Blood match earlier on, it is still standard tag team rules. You gotta tag your partner in and out of the ring. But much like the First Blood situation, it is a falls count anywhere situation. Situation. Said it 5 times. There. Keep a count on how many times we use certain words multiple times. But this is a falls count anywhere match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. The Steiner brothers looking to become double champions, but FTR looking to put a damper in those plans and looking also to stake a claim to a future NWA World Tag Team Championship match with the Steiner brothers. Or we could even see a unification match, I'm sure, at some point down the line between Money Incorporated and the Steiner brothers to unify the NWA Tag Team Championships. As it appears, we have 2 different versions of those titles here in Fantasy Warfare. Nice DDT by Rick Steiner on Dax Harwood. Rick and Scott Steiner, one of the most devastating tag teams to ever step foot into the world of professional wrestling, collegiate wrestling backgrounds, University of Michigan standouts. Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, 2 of the students of the game, if you will. This generation's brainbusters, so says many members of the internet wrestling community. Immediate throwbacks to Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson. Scott Steiner with a devastating power bomb. Jesus, what is it with folks tonight in power bombs over the top rope? Kevin Nash did it like 58 times in the last match. Scott Steiner getting down to it in this one. Power bombing Cash Wheeler out to the floor. Electric chair drop by Scott Steiner on Cash Wheeler on the floor. It's falls count anywhere, so it is all legal, my friends. All you have to do is tag your partner in and out of the match, but otherwise anything goes. Falls count anywhere in this one. Referee into the cover. We only got 2. Very early in the contest. Although, to be fair, Cash Wheeler did get powerbombed out of the ring down to the floor. So, I mean, if anybody was going to lose the match inside of about 2 minutes, I think we could understand somebody that was powerbombed from the ring to the floor succumbing to that pain inside of a 2-minute bell-to-bell. But that was not the case here, as Wheeler is able to get back up to his feet, back into the ring, as Dax Harwood was suffering some offensive attack at the hands of Scott Steiner. But Wheeler back into the ring, sending Scotty Steiner down to the floor. Oh, brutal lariat on the floor into the cover. Referee there. We only get a count of 1 on that one. Stomping away at the hand of Scott Steiner, looking to take away that gripping ability of Big Papa Pump. The future Big Papa Pump? I don't even know. Sometimes when these folks have different eras of themselves, it's like, well, which nicknames do we reference here? Earlier tonight, we called Stunning Steve Austin Stone Cold Steve Austin. But let's not focus on that. Let's focus on the action of our main event this week here, as Scott Steiner throws Dax Harwood in at the exact same moment that Cash Wheeler throws Rick Steiner into the ring. That was pretty trippy to watch those 2 guys roll into the ring at the exact same time. So both teams in the ring. Referee using their discretion and not issuing a 5 count. I mean, it is falls count anywhere, as Dax Harwood gets dumped out to the floor. I swear, this week's recap of the event will probably have more clips of people being dumped from the ring to the floor than I will know what to do with. Hindsight's 20/20, but if I had known so many folks were going to be dumped from power bombs and press slams from the ring to the floor, we might have installed a counter on this week's show just to kind of keep a running number of how many times that happened throughout the duration of the event. Got a very weird pause in the action here as Cash Wheeler is dazed in the corner. Scotty Steiner doing some wrestling posing there. There we go. Cash Wheeler comes out fighting, boots to the midsection. He's got Scott Steiner up into a rib breaker. Nice devastating hold. Oh, devastating back elbow by Cash Wheeler on Scott Steiner. Stomping away on the hand again. We talked about it before, trying to take away that gripping ability of Scott Steiner. Very smart offense by Cash Wheeler. He gets out of the way of that charge of Scott Steiner into a nice takedown. Belly to back. Go behind. Now stomping away at the ribs and then driving a forearm right to the jaw and the ear of Scott Steiner. FTR making a tag. Dax now into the ring, stomping on the legs of Scott Steiner. First it was to the shins, now it's to the back of the leg, the thigh area. Hard shot to the jaw by Dax Harwood. He's got him set up, follow reverse DDT, no reverse suplex. Scott Steiner was trying to crawl over to his corner to make a tag, but Dax says, no way, no sir. Near fall. Count of 2 on that one. Irish whip sends Scott Steiner over the top rope down to the floor. FTR now circling the Steiners. Or excuse me, FTR was circling Scott Steiner, but Dax Harwood throws Scott Steiner back into the ring. There's no champion's advantage in this one. It's falls count anywhere, so there's no countouts, there's no DQ. There's no benefit for FTR to have the action be on the floor. Oh my goodness, another power bomb. The poor spines of Smash from Demolition, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler. All of these guys probably going to jump in a car after tonight's event and find them a chiropractor here in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, because they have just been beaten from pillar to post. And, I mean, really, they've just been powerbombed from ring to floor. Never mind this pillar to post business. They've been powerbombed from ring to floor. Cash Wheeler, he's got Rick Steiner on the apron. Holy whoa, I almost cursed in our commentary. Not that we can't curse commentary, but you know we try to uphold some standards here. And that was a pile driver from the apron to the floor. It's just been that kind of show, folks. It's Black Friday. Every match has had a stipulation of some kind other than the Harlem Heat Hart Foundation match. There's been titles on the line. Everybody is full of leftover turkey rage or whatever as we get a flying clothesline by Cash Wheeler on Rick Steiner. It has been a wild night of action here on Fantasy Warfare. I'd like to thank you all for joining us for this premiere, or if you're watching later on, video on demand here on youtube.com/@BloodyBillBox. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Fantasy Warfare. And as we have said earlier in the night, be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications. And if you... Oh, wait, hang on. We've got a pinfall here on the floor. Could this be enough for FTR to walk away? No, it is not. Scott Steiner was there to break up the pin, but not in time. As we were saying, if you have a match that you would like to request be shown here on Fantasy Warfare, nice belly-to-belly by Rick Steiner. If you have a match you'd like to see, feel free to drop it in the comments or find us on social media at BloodyBillBox. What do we got? We got Twitter, we got TikTok, we got Facebook, we got YouTube, we got Ko-fi, we got Teespring. No Instagram. We don't play on Instagram. Just joined Hive, the one that everybody's flocking to in the event Twitter dies. Oh, nice side suplex on the hardest part of the ring. But if you got a match you want to see, go ahead and get those requests in. And be sure to keep tuning in each and every week to be able to see if maybe one of your requested matches makes it into the program. As Rick Steiner just had a Death Valley driver on the floor. Oh my goodness, that was very close. I thought that was a 3 count. I thought the Steiners were double champions. The Steiners are not double champions on that one. FTR barely able to hang on that one. Got a little bit of back and forth going on here with the Steiners. Rick Steiner now following Dax out to the apron. Gets him with the same side suplex that Rick got Cash Wheeler with just a few moments ago. He gets Dax with the exact same thing. Nice overhead throw by Rick Steiner on the floor, taking firm advantage of this Falls Count Anywhere situation. Oh, brutal lariat by Cash Wheeler on Rick Steiner. I'm not quite sure where Scott Steiner is in this equation. I would think that Scott would be wanting to come to his brother's aid, but to no avail. Is Scott Steiner joining the NWO here tonight? I didn't realize this was Super Brawl. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Rick Steiner, though, starting to hold his own against FTR yet again. Dax Harwood and Rick Steiner collide as Scott Steiner, he's just watching from the corner. That's kind of weird behavior there by Scotty Steiner, as Rick Steiner is just taking the fight to FTR. But here comes Cash Wheeler, driving the knee into the shin of Rick Steiner, trying to take those legs out from the dog-faced gremlin. It's a smart move by FTR because Rick Steiner has been a one-man machine here fighting against both members of FTR. And if he can't walk, can't be much of a fighting machine. Continuing to hammer away, Rick Steiner not having any quit in his body, but he is now busted open by FTR. Looks like it was that straight jab from Cash Wheeler that cracked Rick Steiner open. We've officially got blood in this one. Head and arm suplex by Cash Wheeler takes Rick Steiner down on the floor. FTR keeping Rick Steiner isolated on their side of the ring, not even in the ring. They've got him isolated on the floor on their side of the ring, which would make it even tougher for Scott Steiner to come in. Oh, code breaker on the floor. Cash Wheeler into the cover. We get 1, we get 2, and we get 3. Oh, apparently this one is elimination rules. Would have been nice for somebody from management to tell us that this was not only Falls Count Anywhere, but it is also elimination rules. So now FTR up 2-1 in the elimination rules. Scott Steiner with a Steiner driver, the screwdriver into the cover. We get 1, 2, and Dax is there to break up the pin. So Scott Steiner has got to eliminate both members of FTR in order to walk away with the AEW World Tag Team Championship. That is a tall order on his plate. But if anybody is capable of doing it, I would have to say that old Scotty Steiner from the University of Michigan is one of those guys that could do it. Nice belly-to-belly overhead throw by Scott Steiner. Arm wringer. Oh, hard shot. Nice forearm there by Cash Wheeler. Devastating, twisting suplex. Scott Steiner is in trouble. Steiner brought over to the FTR corner. Driven into the top turnbuckle. I think I'm seeing a little bit of blood there on Scott Steiner. Oh no, what's it going to be? Could it be a spike pile driver? Yes, it is. Spike pile driver by FTR, but they are not going for the cover on this one. I'm a little confused by that. Oh, damn. Brutal brain buster by Dax Harwood on Scott Steiner. He was grooving there for a hot second. Hard shot to the jaw. Back elbow by Scott Steiner. He is not giving up. Another throw by Scott Steiner. If I were Scott, I'd be going for some... Oh my goodness, what a display of power by Scott Steiner, lifting him from the mat up into the press slam position. But if I were Scott Steiner, I would certainly be trying to put one member of FTR away in this one, because FTR is still up 2-1. Rick Steiner has been eliminated. Scott Steiner is fighting for the Steiner brothers in this one. But if he wants to walk away with the AEW Tag Team Championship for the Steiner brothers, he's going to have to put away a member of FTR, and he's going to have to do it soon. Dax Harwood hammering away on Scott Steiner. What's he got him set up for? Oh, pile driver. This could be all. Scott Steiner with a valiant effort. Oh my goodness, I thought that was going to be all. Elbow drop by Dax Harwood. Goes for the leg drop, nobody home. I didn't even think we'd still be calling the match at this point. Scott Steiner now. Wait a minute. Dax Harwood, he catches him, sunset, counters the powerbomb attempt. Oh, kicking out at the count of one. I thought Dax Harwood was going to steal it there. Suddenly and out of the blue, Dax Harwood makes a tag to Cash Wheeler. Wheeler in with a code breaker. Code breaker on Scotty Steiner. Could this be all for Scott? And it is not all for Scotty Steiner. He kicks out. And Cash Wheeler now back, making yet another tag. FTR has been fluid in their motions. Oh, devastating spine buster. Crashing the knee into the canvas. Dax into the cover. Could this be all? Yes, it is. Spine buster and a knee crash. And FTR retains the AEW World Tag Team Championship in our main event here this week on Fantasy Warfare, as we take a look back at some of the highlights from this main event contest that sees FTR walk away with their gold. I'd like to thank you for joining us for yet another episode of Fantasy Warfare. We are going to head to the backstage area in just a moment to talk about this week's show and also to reveal our main event for next week's episode of Fantasy Warfare. So hang tight for just a few more moments, my friends. Fantasy Warfare will be right back. Well, FTR clearly had something to prove to the Steiner brothers, as they didn't even make their usual entrance to the ring in this one. They went sprinting to the ring. They started the fight right away. It was falls count anywhere. It was elimination style. And maybe it was the hot start that threw the Steiner brothers off, because they got swept. It was a night of sweeps here in our best 2 out of 3s and our eliminations. There was no even balance here. It was straight up sweeps as FTR 2-0 eliminates the Steiner brothers to retain the AEW World Tag Team Championships. I wouldn't be surprised if the Steiner brothers want to have another match with FTR, but I also would not be surprised if FTR in the next matchup says the NWA World Tag Team titles need to be on the line. But that concludes another exciting night of Fantasy Warfare action here live from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. But before we go, let's share the main event for next week's episode. This one's going to be a barn burner. It's been long dreamt of by wrestling fans around the world, and even today in 2022, it is being discussed as a rumor of a possibility of a maybe match at WrestleMania 39 in the year 2023. That, my friends, well, I don't know about that, but I can tell you that next week, right here on Fantasy Warfare, we're going to at least explore the idea of what would happen if in one corner it was the so-called voice of the voiceless, CM Punk, going up against a man who is the furthest thing from voiceless in wrestling history, Stone Cold Steve Austin. What an exciting main event that is going to be next week here on Fantasy Warfare. Be sure to tune in right here on YouTube next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, as we will announce the full card for Fantasy Warfare. And of course, be sure to join us next Friday and every Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern, for another exciting episode of Fantasy Warfare. But before we officially sign it off, let's take a look back at some of the highlights from this week's episode of Fantasy Warfare. And on that note, before we officially get into it, someday I'll get better at these sign-offs. But anyway, I have been your host, Bloody Bill Box. You can find me across social media at Bloody Bill Box. And until next time, it's been my pleasure, and I'll see you at ringside.